But now, if you see, every time whenever I have to write something, if I want to execute each and every line, I have to write a new thing. What else? What if I can just write the thing, execute the things once multiple queries in one line? I mean, say what I'm going to do is here I'm again going to write here this thing termination in SQL. We use termination, but here it's not that mandatory. Okay, so what I'm going to use here again insert. Okay, insert into st info. Okay, so let's give some values one comma string right the next. So I'll do one thing one comma k. I'm giving it in a string. Okay, and what else we are having marks we are having so 85 and comma what else we are having is nothing but a text and also I'm just going to write anything. Okay, close. Now have a look. Here it is giving a programming error. It is telling you can only execute one statement at a time. Means if I want to execute multiple statements, I cannot. Means I have to only execute one statement at one at a time. Now that's a problem. Every time I have to write the whole code, that means time. It's time consuming, right? It's a time consuming thing. So what we are going to do here is, in spite of just single thing, we are going to just execute this thing first of all, and then execute. Here, what I'm going to do is same thing, nothing, just using here as b dot execute. I can use the execute thing again and again and again. Okay, b dot execute. Now, one more thing, I want to write my query in multiple lines. Okay, I want my queries. I want to write it in multiple lines. In Python, comments, how we write? We'll write comments. We are having two types of one is single comment and multiple comment. Single comment, we are going to use hashtag. For multiple connect, for single comment, we are going to use this symbol. If I want to write multiple comments in my program, I'll use triple quotes, right? Triple quotes I use. So here, in order to write a query in multiple lines, I'm going to use triple quotes. What I'm going to do, insert into st underscore info. Now, what I'm going to do here is simple value. So I'm going to take the next line. Okay, values and write the thing 202 comma. So here we'll get some name. So HAM, or we'll just take it as Z. And what else we are having? We are having marks. So 90 marks out of 100. And we want to take some other thing. Text we have to write, right? So let us write P or T is that. This is not just a text, so no need to worry. Okay. First I give the ID, this thing and this thing and this thing. Yet again, if I want to execute one more, I'll just select this thing. See, if I want to insert one more, again, I'll just copy this thing. Okay. I'll paste and insert. I'll just change the values here. 303 is easy and 91. Same thing. If I want, I can write the same thing. Okay. Now I can execute the thing here. Got, right? I got the thing here. Values got inserted, right? So again, what I will do, I want to select the things here. So okay, then I copy the stuff. Again, I just retrieve the data. See, I already retrieved the data. I added three rows 101, 202, 303, right? And now, till here, we understood how to create, how to insert the values, and how to retrieve the values, right? Seeing this kind of data in a table and all, we feel a bit complex, right? So, in order to bring this in a table and all, we use import. We have to import a library called pandas, which is the most important thing for the data scientist. Pandas is a library where we are going to use all the operations that we apply upon the files, whatever type of operations we do in Excel and all, using pandas also, we can do that. Pandas as, again, I'm giving pandas as PD. Okay, so then let us just see this thing first. PD dot read underscore SQL underscore query. Okay, by the way, so I'll just start the query and I'll run. So I have to here what it gives cannot operate on a close. So I have to open the database because here, whenever I was just doing anything, I was closing at last, right? Means my database was getting closed. So what I'll do, I'll just write, I'll copy this whole stuff again and do this thing. Yeah, by the way, I don't need all this stuff. So just remove this thing. Okay, I didn't tell you about the commit, right? Yet commit we are using to save the changes. Okay, save the changes. Now, see, whenever I am writing a dot close, if I run this thing, if I run this thing, see, again it will throw me the same error. Cannot operate upon the why? Because I'm closing the file before this reading the query. So what should be here itself is nothing but I have to close it. Let us just close it before. Again, check closed. So I just copied the thing, right? I even have to remove this thing, right? I just remove this thing and yeah, I just committed things. So what I will do here, in place of this thing, I'll just write this thing as df equals, I'm giving it in a variable. You can give any variable. I didn't print at this, right? If I want to print anything in Python, I have to write the, I have to use the print statement. See the data here. List of tuples, but by using pandas, see, this is how you can do. By using pandas, you can have proper tabular form. And if you're not going to use pandas, you'll have this thing. So this is the main thing which you have to understand. If you want to get the data in the proper this thing, you have to use this stuff. I hope till here the things are clear for you, right? Till here everything is clear. No. Inserting is done. Okay. We have to even go for updating. How we are going to update the things in data. If I want to rename a table, how I'm going to do that. So for this, what I'll do here, updating now the main thing here. We are going to update the data. Okay, updating is the main thing. So updating. If I want to rename the table, okay, so what I will do again, I'll just copy the whole stuff. Um, See, factual only when you have to, like if you want to retrieve your data, you can use fetch all, or you can use other methods like for loops also you can apply it, but that's a bit complex thing. For loop and all we use for tabular form, but see when compared to pandas, the pandas is very easy while comparing or using the for loop. Okay, for creating a table. If you want a tabular form, kindly just use pandas. Nothing is different, right? If you're not going to use pandas, then use for loop. That I'll show you a bit later. Now close. Okay, so I just copied the text and I just pasted. What I'm going to do, I'm going to replace this thing as I have to write a query, as well as I just remove this thing. What I have to do, I have to update my data. I'm going, in SQLite variable, I'm going to update anything. I'm going to write alter table. Okay, what's the table name? Student info. So I want to rename the table. So rename st. I'll run this. So st. There you go. I just forgot to write to st. Now, if I write this thing, if I write the same thing here, if I just in place of this whole see last in the previous things, what I was using select all from student info. My table name was st underscore info. But here, if I use the same thing, it's showing me another execution fail. No such table student info. Why? But here I already created student info. There is a table. All the tables are running. But now why it's not running? Because I renamed student info as st. See, in the previous one, I just renamed student info to st. Means where from now onwards, student info is going to transfer all of this to student. Means it's getting renamed. Now, when I run this thing, it gave me, right? Got it? So this is what how you're going to rename a table. I want to rename a column. I can just rename it. See, this thing as I already wrote, I don't need to edit it every time. So what I will do here is here only, or else what I will do, in spite of copying as here, see, here as we're not writing anything, we are not like doing anything. So any applying operation. So here we only selected. So what I'll do, I'll just write here. Hmm. I didn't use b dot execute, right? I'll use b equals a dot execute. I mean cursor, a dot cursor. Now. Here, what I will do before df, I'll just add execute, b dot execute. So I'll just uh, change that here. I change the table name. Now here I'll change the column name. Whenever I'm updating, use alter table, whatever table I am going to enter, because whatever columns you're applying it on the table, right? Alter table st. Okay, rename. Now see, I'll do one thing better. I'll just one, two, three. So then, right, I want to write it in multiple lines. So that's why what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this stuff. That is alter table. I want to rename. So rename. Okay, rename column. See, most what happens is the column name might get wrong. So be careful by writing the name. Here I told already it's not case sensitive. So last time I wrote rename as small. Here I'm writing it as or here in place of writing alter also I can write alter capital letters. ST, which is the table name, I can also write it capital letters. Now rename column. Okay. Suppose my column name is nothing but name. There's a column name is nothing but name. So name to full name I'll just write full name. And what I will do here, I'll run this thing. See, before it was nothing but what I gave it as here. I gave it as this thing. Okay, so yeah, I gave it as name. I just run the stuff. Okay, again, I run this. Okay, now I think there's something happened there. So then, okay, I'll just explain what actually happened here. When I just run the table again. So yeah, now it's good. So now before, okay, fine. See, before what it was. It's not printing. I'll just do one thing. That case, that scenario, I'll just comment this thing and I just want to show you this thing before. Okay, and the last time here it was name. Actually, the table name here I changed just now ST to STI. So see, here it was name. Okay, here I first of all, again I renamed my table name in student info as STI. Okay, STI. So whenever I'm printing that STI table, it is giving me name. But what I'll do here is now I'll change this STI to name. So what I will do here, okay, then I'll just comment it out. And in place of writing st, I'll just write st underscore I. Now, wherever I'm this name, see this thing, this thing, name, it will get changed to full name. Understood? This is what is going to happen here. Okay, that's it. Okay. Renaming a table and all. It's nothing but updating the table. Like if you want to add anything, you can just add the thing. Okay. I'll just do one thing again. Here itself, what I will do, I'll just make it as a comment. Okay. So again, I'll just use b dot execute. Okay. Python is not case sensitive. I have to write small b itself. B dot execute. So then I'm going to add a column. So same thing, alter table. Okay, so my table name is nothing but SIT, sorry, student I. So SIT. Okay, insert, sorry, alter table. Now I want to write this in multiple lines. So then what I'll do is alter table st underscore I. Now I'll just write here add column. Okay. So I'm adding column H, which will be an integer, and it should not be null. Means anyone who is not entering the name means they'll get an error or their data won't be. However, it's nothing but it is not going to show you data. It's going to throw you an error. So not null. I'm using here the new thing that is nothing but not null. Not null means what is I'm putting a condition upon this that my age column should not be different. Means it should not be an empty. It should have some value. Okay, not null. And you can just run this thing. By the way, here you can even use default. Not null means it should not be null, and you can use default 16 or default 18, default 108. And I'll run this thing. See, before age column was now age column there, and as I do default 10, so wherever we are having this age is nothing but we are getting as 108. Okay. Till here, I hope things are clear. How to do, when to do, and all right. I created a table, so let's just do a quick recap. Database I created. I created an insertion and how to insert and retrieve the data. Okay, and then we used update. Then we did this thing, post up. Right. So kindly just understand till here. And the next, let's see how to drop the things. Right. How to delete things if you want. So then, yeah, then. Let's do things now. Mm, mm, okay, then just a second. Okay. The last thing is if I want to drop any table, I'll write this thing. Okay. And yes, I'll write a query that drop this whole thing. So what I'll do basically, I'll just copy this thing. So here I'm going to drop the table. From here, I can just drop the student. So basically, if you're not having a table, anything, it will just give you. If it is there, also no problem. If it is not in. What I'll do, student underscore info underscore I'll just drop the table. Table have been removed. So and the table have been removed from this database. Again, when I run this thing, it shows no such table because here I wanted it. I just dropped the table here. So if I drop the table, I have to create it again, right? In place of, or other than that, also I just stored some other thing that is st info. Okay, st info. Now, whatever you're getting, I think you should not get an error. No such table st underscore info as okay. St underscore info. Mhm. So we'll name again it as. Mhm. Okay, fine. Actually, I just deleted the file. I think that's why it's showing. But if I use this thing, it will just give me table drop, means your table will be dropped. If I just I'm using this thing, I just also created one more school.atv. If I'm in this, if there is something like STI, it will just drop the table. Okay, so that if it is having it, just if the database is there in this database, if your table is there, doesn't matter. You just drop the table. Okay, fine. So that's it for this class. See you in the next. Till then, take care. Assalamu alaikum.